Alright, so I chose to do my lesson plan assignment on an art lesson, which I titled The Easter Bunny Sitting in the Grass. So it's an art lesson activity for grades 1 and 2 and students with disabilities. You can see the finished product there on the right. So students will create an Easter bunny sitting in the grass using construction paper, glue, and googly eyes. Students will need to utilize scissors, apply glue, and draw on whiskers. Students will have to listen and follow step-by-step instruction in order to complete their seasonal art project. Students will work with their desk buddy and share supplies. Students needing assistance are already placed as desk buddies. Teacher will begin prep work for art class between 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. Art class will start at 10:05 a.m. and end at 11:10 a.m. So what is the purpose of the art lesson? It provides students with listening skills as they will need to listen and follow step-by-step instructions. Promotes fine motor skills as students will need to use scissors, manipulate materials with glue, etc. The activity will combine components of the art curriculum as well as themed seasonal work. It promotes communication and social skills as stronger students will be paired with weaker ones to help with instructions and to assist with any difficulties that may arise. So which domains are addressed in this activity? So we have cognitive, social, fine motor, academic as it covers the art curriculum, and communication. What are the requirements needed from students? Students will need the ability to use fine motor skills as they will need to use scissors and manipulate small objects. Students will need patience as they are waiting for further instruction or supplies. Cooperative and communication skills are needed as students who are working together will need to get along. Students will also need to cooperate if supplies they need are being used. Students will need the ability to listen and follow instructions given by the teacher. Students must be able to see the shapes on construction paper in order to safely and correctly cut out the shapes. Students must be able to recognize difference in size as the googly eyes used in this art lesson are 2 different sizes. So what equipment is needed to complete this activity? Pre-drawn shapes on green, pink, and white construction paper. Googly eyes in 2 different sizes. Scissors. Glue sticks. Black markers, 2 small containers for googly eyes, 1 cup for markers, recycling bin, garbage bin, and safe and gentle cleansing wipes. What are some possible safety considerations? So ingestion of glue and other materials such as googly eyes, paper, etc. Possible injury from paper cuts. Possible injury from improper use of scissors. Possible injury from marker. Some modifications for students with disabilities. So Charlie will need to work alongside his educational assistant as he engages in head banging and has much difficulty using scissors. What special adaptations and/or equipment are needed to complete the art lesson? So for neurotypical students, we have left-handed scissors. And for students with disabilities, Charlie and Liam will need grips added onto their markers for easy grasping. Charlie will need hand-over-hand instruction from his educational assistant while using scissors. Charlie will be provided with visual pictures to form a task analysis to assist him to complete his art project. So preparation for neurotypical students. So the teacher will trace the shape of the grass with black marker onto green construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. You can see an image there on the right. Teacher will trace the shape of the inside of the ears and the nose with black marker onto pink construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. You can see it there again on the right. Teacher will trace the shape of the ears and the head with black marker onto white construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. You can see it there on the right. So preparation for neurotypical students and students with disabilities. So teacher will provide 2 small containers of googly eyes, 1 containing small eyes and the other containing larger. Teacher will trace extras of all shapes on construction paper in case of accidental mistakes that cannot be corrected. Teacher will place all supplies on the table in front of the classroom. Teacher will provide a finished example of the art project for students to visually see what their project should resemble. And you can see the finished product there on the right. So preparation for students with disabilities. So the teacher will trace the shape of the grass with the black marker onto green construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. The teacher will provide a guideline at the back to assist with placement when assembling the Easter Bunny. And you can see the differentiation there on the right. The teacher will trace the shape of the inside of the ears and nose with black marker onto pink construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. So the teacher will trace the shape of the ears and the head with black marker onto white construction paper prior to the lesson for each student. The teacher will provide guidelines to assist with placement when assembling the Easter Bunny. And you can see the differentiation there on the right. So teachers will place a small vertical line of masking tape on students' desk prior to the lesson. This will help students to separate their scrap pile from their shapes pile. The teacher will create a visual representation of the lesson for Charlie to help assist him with his artwork. Here's a visual representation of the lesson for Charlie. So you can see the cutting step-by-step instruction, and then you can actually see the formation of the artwork as well there at the bottom. It's very important also to mention that Charlie, as well as having a developmental disability, he also has mild autism. Alright, so modifications for students with disabilities. So during the task analysis, you'll see very different modifications for students with disabilities. So the difference in strategies used to teach neurotypical students versus students with disabilities. So you'll see more modeling prompts are used to assist students with concrete examples of expected behavior. Repetition is used to ensure students are able to engage and maintain desired behavior. And more visual and gestural prompts are used to demonstrate expected outcomes. Alright, so now we're going to jump into the task analysis to create our Easter Bunny sitting in the grass. You will see that all of the instructions for neurotypical students or instructions for both will be written in black. Modifications for students with disabilities will have a purple header. So step 1. At 10 a.m. the teacher will ask the students to clear their desks and put away all previous lesson materials. Boys and girls, can I have you please clear your desks and put all your items away? Wait quietly in your seats. We are going to create special art for Easter. Students are expected to clear their desks, put all their items away, and wait quietly. I'm going to count to 3, and if you do not have your desk cleared and are not waiting quietly, you will have to stay inside at recess to do your work. 1, 2, 3. If students refuse to follow through, they will not be able to participate in the lesson and will have to stay inside at recess to complete their work. Great job! Now we can get started. Step 2. Can anyone raise their hand and tell me what holiday is coming up? So modifications for students with disabilities. Can anyone raise their hand and tell me what holiday is coming up? Look at our calendar for a clue. Students are expected to raise their hands to answer the question. If students do not raise their hand to answer the question and instead shout out the answer, I can only ask the students who raise their hands properly to answer the question. We are never to shout out our answers. Modifications for students with disabilities. So teacher will hold her index finger over her mouth and raise her hand in the air to model appropriate behavior when answering questions. So teacher will choose a student to answer the question who followed instruction. So the answer we're looking for is Easter. Step 3. What are some things that remind you of Easter? So modifications for students with disabilities. What are some things that remind you of Easter? Remember to raise your hand to answer. Students are expected to raise their hand to answer the question. If students do not raise their hand to answer the question and instead shout out the answer, I told you, I will only ask the students with their hands up waiting to be asked. We cannot yell out our answers. The teacher will choose 4 to 5 students to give their answer. Possible answers include bunny, Easter eggs, church, bunny trail, etc. Those are some great ideas. Step 4. So today for art class, we are going to make one of your ideas. We are going to create our own Easter bunny sitting in the grass. I have one that I made to show you as an example of what it's going to look like. So the teacher will show the class the completed Easter bunny by holding it up. You can see your Easter bunny here as she points to the Easter bunny. He has long ears, a pink nose, and some whiskers as she points to each part of the bunny as mentioned. The green section here is our grass. The way it is placed makes it look like the bunny is sitting amongst the grass as she points to the grass. I am going to place it here on the chalkboard so that we can all see it while we work. Students are expected to listen and watch as the teacher explains the art that they are going to create. If students begin chatting amongst themselves and not paying attention, the teacher will mention the student's name and say, "We need to make sure that we are all listening and paying attention when I am speaking." If students continue to chat amongst themselves and not pay attention, I have already warned you that it is not appropriate to chat with your friends while the teacher is talking. If I have to tell you one more time, you'll have to sit aside and finish your work during recess. If students persist on chatting amongst themselves and do not pay attention, then they will have to sit back at the back of the class and finish their work during recess. Great job listening. We're almost ready to start. Step 5. Before we get started, I need 3 volunteers to help me hand out the supplies. Each set of students needs a glue stick, a marker, and 2 pairs of scissors. Who would like to come to the front and help me? Modifications for students with disabilities. Before we get started, I need 2 volunteers to help me hand out the supplies. Each set of students needs a glue stick and a black marker. Who would like to come to the front and help me? Students will raise their hands to be chosen to help. If students do not raise their hand to volunteer to help, oh, I told you I will only ask students with their hands up. You cannot yell out that we want to help. Teacher will choose 3 students to help distribute the supplies, and the students chosen were Ashley, Nicholas, and Zoe. Some modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will choose 2 students to help distribute the supplies. The students chosen were Liam and Carly. Step 6. So Ashley, I will get you to grab the scissors and pass them out. Make sure Leah gets the red pair of scissors as she is left-handed. Nicholas, I will get you to hand out the glue sticks, and Zoe, I will get you to hand out the markers. While they are passing supplies around, I will give each of you the construction paper and googly eyes you will need to complete the art project. Everyone please wait quietly in your seats as we pass everything around. Modifications for students with disabilities. Carly, I will get you to hand out the glue sticks, and Liam, I will get you to hand out the markers. While they are passing supplies around, I will give each of you construction paper, googly eyes, and 2 pairs of scissors. Everyone please wait quietly in your seats as we pass everything around. The teacher will also give Charlie and Liam the grips they need for their markers. Students who are chosen to hand out supplies will come to the front and grab the supplies they were chosen to hand out and begin distributing them. Students who remain seated are to wait quietly while supplies are being handed out. If students helpers do not assist quietly or nicely. Being a helper does not mean you get to chat with your friends or play around. If you can't behave properly, then I will choose someone else to help and you will go back to your seat. If student helpers continue to misbehave, they will be sent back to their seats and a new student will be chosen. If students who are remaining at their desks do not do so quietly or remain seated, I have asked you to remain in your seat and wait quietly. If you cannot behave properly, you will not be able to participate in the art lesson and will have to complete it during recess. Great job, helpers. You did a fantastic job. Thank you to everyone else for staying seated and waiting so patiently. Modification for students with disabilities. I am going to add a smiley face to our daily reward chart. First smiley face of the day. We need 2 more to get extra free time this afternoon. Step 7. Now that all of the supplies are handed out and everyone is in their seats, I want you all to make sure that you have all of your supplies. Please place your glue stick, marker, and scissors in the middle between you and your partner. You can keep your googly eyes and construction paper on your own desk, so you will not confuse your materials with your partners. Modifications for students with disabilities. Now that all the supplies are handed out and everyone is in their seats, I want you all to make sure that you have all of your supplies. I will hold up each supply and you can tell me if you and your partner have it. Please do not yell. The teacher will hold up each supply and gain agreement. Please place your glue stick, marker, and scissors in the middle between you and your partner. You can keep your googly eyes and construction paper on your own desks so you will not confuse your materials with your partners. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. So teacher will use student supplies on the nearest desk to provide a concrete example. Students will place their glue stick, marker, and scissors in between themselves and their partners. Students will keep their googly eyes and construction paper packages on their individual desks. If students do not organize their supplies, if you do not follow instructions and get organized, you will fall behind and risk staying inside to finish your art lesson with me. If students do not organize their supplies and follow instruction, the teacher will move on and they will have to catch up at recess. Awesome job! Now we are all organized. We can start creating our Easter Bunny. Step 8. Okay, boys and girls, I will need your eyes on me. I need you to make sure you are listening and paying attention. First, I need you to grab your white piece of construction paper, set aside the remaining construction paper, grab your scissors. You will need to cut along the outside of the black line. Make sure we are all following the line as closely as possible. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will help you. If you're having a hard time, you may also ask your partner. Modifications for students with disabilities. Okay, boys and girls, I will need your eyes on me. First, I need you to grab your white piece of construction paper. Set aside the remaining construction paper on your desk. Teacher will hold up the white piece of construction paper. Grab your scissors. You will need to cut along the outside of the black line. Make sure we are following the line as closely as possible. So, modeling prompt for both groups of students. While explaining the instructions, the teacher will be cutting out the shapes on the white construction paper so that students can see exactly what to do. Modifications for grades 1s or 2s that struggle with fine motor skills and students with disabilities. Teacher will cut out the shapes or allow stronger peer partners to assist them with cutting. Educational assistant will help Charlie hand over hand to cut out shapes. Students are expected to listen and follow instructions to cut their shapes out on the white construction paper. Students who are having difficulty will raise their hand to ask for help or ask their partners for help. If students do not start cutting their paper, if you do not cut your shapes out on your white construction paper, you will not be able to create your Easter Bunny and you will fall behind. Modifications for students with disabilities. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. Remember to cut as closely to the outside black line. Do not rush. Use your scissors safely. Great job cutting, everyone. Your Easter bunnies are going to look great. Step 9. Okay, boys and girls, eyes back on me. Place your white shapes in a pile on your desk and in a separate pile place your scrap paper. The teacher will place the shapes in a pile and in a separate pile place your scrap paper. This will act as a model to show students what to do. Modifications for students with disabilities. Okay, boys and girls, eyes back on me. You will notice that there is tape on your desk. I want you to place your white shapes in a pile on one side of the tape and on the other side of the tape place your scrap paper. Teacher will place her shapes in a pile on one side of the tape and on the other side of the tape place her scrap paper. This will act as a model to show students what to do. Students are expected to listen and watch for instructions. Students will place their scrap paper in one pile and their shapes in another. Modifications for students with disabilities. Students are expected to listen and watch for instructions. Students will place their scrap pile in a pile on one side of the tape and their shapes pile on the other side of the tape. Remember, we need to stay organized. We don't want to be throwing out shapes. We need to make our Easter bunny. You only have one copy of each paper, so be careful. Great job, boys and girls. We're ready to move on. Step 10. While I have your attention, our next step is to grab our pink piece of paper and begin cutting out the shapes. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will hold a pink piece of construction paper. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. While explaining the instructions, the teacher will be cutting out the shapes on pink construction paper so that students can see exactly what to do. Modification for grades 1s or 2s and students with disabilities that struggle with fine motor skills. Teacher will help cut out the shape or allow stronger peer partner to assist them with cutting. Educational assistant will assist Charlie hand over hand to cut out his shapes. Students are expected to listen and follow instructions to cut their shapes out of the pink construction paper. Students who are having difficulty will raise their hand and ask for help or ask their partner for help. Make sure you are all cutting nicely. We don't want anyone to fall behind. Take a look at your partner. If they are falling behind, kindly offer them some help. Make sure you do so quietly. Modifications for students with disabilities. Make sure you are all cutting nicely. Remember to cut closely along the outside black line. Take your time. Be safe. We don't want anyone to fall behind. Take a look at your partner. If they are falling behind, kindly offer them some help. Make sure you do so quietly. Great job, everyone. Everyone is cutting so well and keeping up. Good job, Kayla. I like how you quietly helped your partner. Great teamwork. Some modifications for students with disabilities. Good job, Serena. I like how you quietly helped your partner. It is important for us to help our friends when they need it. Great teamwork. Step 11. Okay, boys and girls, I need your attention here at the front again. I need you to place your pink shapes on top of your white shapes and place them aside. Place your scrap pink paper in your scrap pile. Teacher will place her newly cut shapes on her shapes pile and will place her new scrap paper on her scrap paper pile. Students are expected to listen and watch for instructions. Students will place their scrap paper on their scrap paper pile and will place their shapes on their shapes pile. Please make sure you do not confuse your scrap pile with your shapes pile. Great job staying organized. We can now move on to our next step. Step 12. Now we can grab our green piece of construction paper and our scissors. We can now cut out our grass for our Easter bunnies. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will hold up green piece of construction paper as a visual prompt. Modeling prompts for both groups of students. While explaining the instructions, the teacher will be cutting out the shapes on the green construction paper so that students can see exactly what to do. Modifications for grades 1s or 2s and students with disabilities that struggle with fine motor skills. Teacher will help cut out the shape or allow the stronger peer partner to assist them with cutting. Educational assistant will assist Charlie hand over hand cutting out his shapes. Students are expected to listen and follow instructions to cut their shapes out on green construction paper. Students who are having difficulty will raise their hand and ask for help or ask their partner for help. Make sure you are still cutting along the outside of the black line. Don't go too fast, take your time. If you need help, please raise your hand or ask your partner. Modifications for students with disabilities. Make sure you are still cutting along the outside of the black line. Don't go too fast. Take your time. Be safe. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around to help you. Great job! We now have all of our shapes cut out. Now we can start to assemble our Easter bunnies. Step 13. Before we assemble our Easter bunnies, we need to get rid of our scrap paper. I want you all to quietly get up from your seats and place your scrap paper in the recycling bin. When you are done, please go back to your seats and wait quietly for the next step. While the teacher is explaining what to do with the scrap paper, the teacher will point to the recycling bin as a gestural prompt. Modeling prompt. So while students quietly get up and discard their scrap paper, the teacher will do the same. Students are expected to quietly get up from their seats with their scrap paper and place it in the recycling bin and return to their seats. If students do not complete this step quietly, remember I asked you to do this quietly. This is not time to play around or chat with your friends. If you cannot do this properly, then I will remove you from the lesson and you complete it during recess. If students continue to engage in horseplay and chatting, they will be removed from the lesson and remain inside at recess to finish their art lesson. Modifications for students with disabilities. Remember, I have asked you to do this quietly. This is not time to play around or chat with your friends. If you cannot do this properly, then I will have to remove the smiley face from our daily rewards chart. Great job recycling. You all did that so well. Modifications for students with disabilities. So smiley face stays on our daily reward chart. Great job, everyone. Step 14. Alright, boys and girls, I need your eyes and full attention up here at the front. Please grab your 2 white construction paper ears from your shapes pile. Please grab your pink ear shapes from your shapes pile and place them with your white paper ears. Modifications for students with disabilities. Alright, boys and girls, I need your eyes up here and your full attention at the front. Please grab your 2 white construction paper ears from your shapes pile. The teacher will grab and hold up white construction paper ears as a visual prompt. Please grab your pink ear shapes from your shapes pile and place them on your white paper, or place them with your white paper ears. Teacher will grab and hold up pink construction paper ears as a visual prompt. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. So while the teacher is explaining the instructions, she will grab and place both ear shapes separately on her table as an example of what is to be done. Students are expected to grab their white bunny ear shapes and their pink bunny ear shapes and place them separately on their desks. Make sure you are grabbing the right pieces. You don't want to glue the wrong things together. We want adorable Easter bunnies to hang outside of our classroom. Great job! Now we can start gluing our ears together. Step 15. We are now going to place our white ears with black trim facing up. We are going to flip over our pink ear shapes, black trim face down. Modifications for students with disabilities. We are now going to place our white ears with our black trim facing up. Teacher will demonstrate by holding up which side should face upward. We are going to flip over our pink ear shapes, black trim side face down. Teacher will hold up the pink ear shapes flipped over to show students which way the ears should be placed. Modeling prompts for both groups of students. So while the teacher is explaining the instructions, she will place her ears the proper way as an example. Excuse me. Students are expected to place their white ears black trim side faced up. Students will place their pink ears black trim side face down. We all need to make sure we are following the instructions. If you do not understand, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. Great job! We are now prepared to add some glue. Step 16. We are going to cover the pink ear shapes with glue. We are going to flip them over and place them about an inch away from the bottom straight edge of the white ear like this. Modifications for students with disabilities. We are going to cover the pink ear shapes with glue. We are going to flip them over and line them up with the bottom of the pink ear with the line on the white ear like this. Teacher will hold up the white bunny ears and point to the line where students need to line up both earpieces. Modeling prompts for both groups of students. While explaining the instructions, the teacher will demonstrate what the bunny should look like when glued together. Make sure you do this twice. Easter bunnies have 2 ears. Remember, you are sharing glue. Take turns. Be fair. Students are expected to place their glue-covered pink ear on their white ear on the spot indicated during instruction and demonstration. Students will share their glue between themselves and their partners. Make sure you are gluing your ears in the right spot. Watch me if you're unsure what to do. I'm showing you exactly where to glue the pink ears. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come help you. You may also ask your partner to quietly help you. Make sure you are sharing with your partner. Don't be greedy. Take turns. If you do not share nicely with your partner, I will remove you and you will have to complete the lesson at the back of the class away from everyone else. If students do not cooperate, the teacher will place them at the back of the class and they will finish their lesson alone. Great job, boys and girls. You are all doing really well. I like that some of you helped your partners, and I like that you all shared so nicely. Excellent teamwork. Step 17. Next, we are going to place some glue at the bottom of the ears like this. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will hold up the bunny's ears and point to the remaining white portion of the ear. Modeling prompt for both groups of students, so teacher will show where to place the glue while explaining the instructions. Students are expected to watch and place the glue at the bottom of the ears as demonstrated by the teacher. Students will share the glue between themselves and their partners. Make sure you are paying attention to where I place the glue. Make sure you do not put too much glue. We only need a little bit. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around to help you. You may also quietly ask your partner for help. Great job, everyone. Now we are ready to place our ears on our bunny's head. Step 18. I need your full attention here at the front. This is important. We are going to glue our completed bunny ears to the back of our bunny's head. I need you to grab your bunny's head from your shapes pile. It is the large white piece. You are going to place your bunny ears at the top of the head, slightly apart like this. Modifications for students with disabilities. I need your full attention here at the front. This is important. We are going to glue our completed bunny ears to the back of our bunny's head. I need you to grab your bunny's head from your shapes pile. It is the large white piece. The teacher will grab and hold up the white construction paper bunny head as a visual prompt. You are going to place your bunny ears at the top of the head where you see the black line. You will line up the ears and the black line like this. The teacher will point to the black lines at the back of the bunny's head as a gestural prompt. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. While the teacher is explaining the instructions, she will demonstrate where to place the glue-covered ears. Students are expected to watch and place the glue-covered ears at the back of the bunny's head as demonstrated by the teacher. Make sure you are paying attention to where I place the ears. I am showing you exactly where to place them. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. Great job, everyone. I like that those of you who needed help raised your hands and waited patiently. Now we are all ready to move on to the next step together. Step 19. Now we can start to see our Easter Bunny come together. I need you to take some glue and place 2 full-length stripes of glue at the bottom of the bunny's head, like this. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will hold up the bunny's head and point to the area beneath the black line for where to apply the glue. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. Teacher will demonstrate where to place the glue on the bunny's head while explaining the instructions. Remember, you are sharing glue. Please take your turns and share nicely. Students are expected to watch and place 2 stripes of glue at the bottom of the bunny's head as demonstrated by the teacher. Modifications for students with disabilities. Students will watch and place the glue at the bottom of the bunny's head beneath the black line as demonstrated by the teacher. For both groups of students, will share glue between themselves and their partners. Make sure you are watching for instructions. It is important that we place the glue in the right place. Make sure you are sharing with your partner. I don't want to have to remove you from such a fun art lesson. Modifications for students with disabilities. Make sure you are sharing with your partner. I don't want to have to remove you from such a fun art lesson or take away the smiley face from the daily reward chart. Great job sharing, everyone. Modifications for students with disabilities. Great work! Our smiley face stays on our daily reward chart. Remember, only 2 more smiley faces and you earn some extra free time this afternoon. Step 20. Now we are ready to place our bunny's head to our grass. I need you to grab your green grass shape from your shapes pile. Place your bunny's head face side up on your desk. Grab your green piece of paper and place the pointy top slightly above where you place the glue on the bunny's head like this. Modifications for students with disabilities. Now we are ready to place our bunny's head to our grass. I need you to grab your green grass shape from your shapes pile. Teacher will hold up the green piece of construction paper as a visual prompt. You will need to flip the grass over on your desk. You will find a black line. The teacher will hold up the green construction paper grass flipped over and point to the black line as a gestural prompt. Take your Easter Bunny's head, line up the bottom of the head with the black line of the grass. Modeling prompt for both groups of students. The teacher will demonstrate where exactly to place the grass on the bunny's head. Students are expected to watch carefully and place their grass onto their bunny's head as demonstrated by the teacher. Modifications for students with disabilities. Students will watch carefully and place their grass onto their bunny's head as demonstrated by the teacher. Teacher will show the class exactly where to place the grass to ensure proper completion. Make sure you are paying close attention to where I place the grass. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. If your partner has finished, you may ask them to help you quietly. Good job, boys and girls. I saw some of you helping your partners. Great job. This is Dylan's or Jake's Easter bunny so far. You can see he has properly followed instructions and glued his pieces in the right places. As I look around, many of you have done the same thing. Great work, everyone. Step 21. Now we are ready to create our bunny's face. I need you to grab your last shape piece in your pile, which is your pink bunny nose. I need you to flip the nose over, black trim side facing down. You are going to apply the glue to the entire nose. Make sure you place your pink triangle nose upside down like so. Modifications for students with disabilities. Now we are ready to create our bunny's face. I need you to grab your last shape piece in your pile, which is our pink bunny nose. The teacher will grab and hold up the pink construction paper nose to model for students. I need you to flip the nose over, black trim side facing down. Teacher will model how to flip and place the nose as a visual prompt. You are going to apply glue to the entire nose. Make sure you place the pink triangle nose upside down like so. So modeling prompt for both groups of students. So while the teacher is explaining the instructions, she will demonstrate flipping the pink nose over and applying the glue. Students are expected to flip over their pink bunny nose and apply glue to the whole surface area. Students will share the glue between themselves and their partners. Make sure you are placing the glue on the right side. Make sure you are sharing the glue with your partner. Great job, everyone. Now we are ready to place it on our bunny's head. Step 22. I need you to pay close attention. Eyes up here at the front. You will need to count the grass peaks. When you reach the number 4, place your finger on the peak. With your other hand, you will grab your pink upside down nose and place the glue side down slightly above the peak. The teacher will demonstrate exactly how to count the peaks, where to stop, and how to place your finger and where to adhere the nose. Since Miss Landry is right-handed, I will hold my left finger over peak number 4. This will make it easier for me to grab the nose with my right hand. If you are left-handed, you will hold a peak number 4 with your right hand and grab the nose with your left hand. Students are expected to watch and place their glue-covered nose on the bunny's head as demonstrated by the teacher. The teacher will show exactly step by step how and where to place the nose. Look here that you can see exactly how to place your bunny's nose. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will be around to help you. Please wait patiently for everyone to finish this step. We can take a look at Stephanie's or Blair's Easter bunny. She has correctly placed her nose slightly above peak number 4. Great job, everyone. I like that those who needed help raised their hands and those who finished quickly waited so patiently. Awesome work. Step 23. Now we are ready to add our googly eyes to our bunny's face. You are going to take the larger googly eye and cover the back of it with glue. You will then place the glue side down slightly above the right side of the pink triangle. Then you will take the smaller googly eye, apply glue to the back. You will place the eye glue side down slightly above the left side of the pink triangle nose, like this. So while the teacher is explaining the instructions, she will demonstrate where to place the googly eyes. Modifications for grade 1s and 2s and students with disabilities that struggle with fine motor skills. Teacher will help glue the eyes or allow stronger peer partner to assist them. Students will watch and glue their googly eyes to the bunny's face as demonstrated by the teacher. The teacher will show the class exactly where to place the larger googly eye and the smaller googly eye. Look up here. I am going to show you exactly where to place the googly eyes. Watch carefully. If you need help, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. Boys and girls, remember that there is an example on the blackboard if you get confused. Great job waiting patiently and quietly as I assist other students. Good work. Step 24. I will walk around and check to see how everyone is doing. Once I check your work, please press down on your googly eyes to make sure they stick really, really well. Students will press down to secure their googly eyes once the teacher has checked their work. Do not press down and secure your googly eyes until I have checked your work. Once the glue dries, there is no way we can move them. Please wait patiently for me to finish with all students. If students get too loud while the teacher is checking their work, boys and girls, it is getting too loud in here. Please whisper to your partners. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will hold her index finger to her mouth and say shh as a modeling prompt. Great job, boys and girls. Everyone's bunny eyes look fabulous. Step 25. And now it is time for our final step in creating our Easter bunny. We need to add the whiskers. You will need to take your marker and make 3 small lines coming up from the nose like this. Teacher will demonstrate where and how many whiskers to draw while providing the instructions. Remember to draw 3 whiskers on each side of the nose. Also remember that there is only 1 marker between you and your partner. You will need to share and take turns. Modifications for students with disabilities. If you are confused or unsure, please look at the example on the blackboard. Students are expected to watch and draw on their whiskers with black marker. Students will share and take turns using the marker with their partners. Make sure you are only drawing 3 whiskers on each side of your bunny's nose. Please share nicely with your partner. Great job, boys and girls. Your Easter bunnies look amazing. Step 26. Before we completely finish our art lesson and begin cleanup, we need to write our names on the back. I will need you to write your name on the bottom right-hand corner of the grass. Modifications for students that struggle with fine motor skills. Teacher will help outline their name and instruct students to trace. Students will write their names on the back right-hand corner of the grass. Teacher will flip the completed Easter bunny over and point to the already written name in the proper spot. Please look up here. I am pointing to where you need to write your name. You will see that I wrote Miss Landry at the bottom right-hand corner. Please do the same. Great job, everyone. I am very proud of you, of your listening skills, and the way you all followed instructions. Don't get too ahead of yourselves. We still need to clean up. Modifications for students with disabilities. Great job, everyone. I am very proud of your listening skills and the way you all followed instructions. I think we as the class deserve another smiley face for all of our hard work. Don't get too ahead of yourselves, though. We still need to clean up. Step 27. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to clean up and return our supplies to the front. I need you to place all your supplies back into the middle of your desk between you and your partner. You should have a glue stick, 2 pairs of scissors, and a black marker. Teacher will place the supplies all together in the middle of her table to show as an example. Students are expected to place their supplies in the middle of their desk between themselves and their partners. Make sure that you have all of your supplies ready. We don't want to leave anything behind. Good job gathering your supplies. Step 28. I need 3 volunteers to go and collect the supplies and bring them to me at the front of the class. Who would like to help? Modifications for students with disabilities. I will need 2 volunteers to go and collect the supplies and bring them back to me at the front of the class. Who would like to help? Students are expected to raise their hands to volunteer to collect the supplies and bring them to the front of the classroom. Remember, I will not choose anyone who yells out. If you want to help, you must raise your hand and wait to be chosen. Teacher will choose 3 students to help collect the supplies. The students who were chosen were Stephen, Alyssa, and Grayson. Modifications for students with disabilities. Teacher will choose 2 students to help collect the supplies. The students chosen were Kylie and Devin. Step 29. Stephen, you will collect the scissors. Alyssa, you will grab the markers and place them up here in the small cup. Grayson, you will grab the glue sticks. The rest of you please remain seated and wait quietly. Modifications for students with disabilities. Devin, you will collect the markers and place them up here in the small cup. The teacher will point to the small cup to signal where the markers are to be placed. Kylie, you will collect the glue sticks and place them on the front table. Teacher will point to the front table to signal where the glue sticks are to be placed. The rest of you please remain seated and wait quietly. The teacher will also gather the scissors and grips while the helpers gather the other supplies. Student helpers are expected to gather the supplies and bring them to the front of the classroom. Please wait quietly in your seats. We're almost finished. Thank you to our helpers for gathering all of our supplies, and everyone else, thank you for waiting. Step 30. Now I want you to grab your finished Easter Bunny, get up from your seats, and form a line in front of me. Please do so quietly. Students are expected to gather their finished art project and form a line in front of the teacher quietly. If you cannot follow instructions quietly, I will keep you inside and you have all done so well so far. Please do not ruin all of your great work now. Modifications for students with disabilities. If you cannot follow instructions quietly, I will be forced to take a smiley face off the daily rewards chart. You have all done so well so far. Please do not ruin all of your great work now. Great work! Modifications for students with disabilities. Since you all followed instructions perfectly, the smiley face gets to stay on our chart. Step 31. You will hand me your finished Easter Bunny, grab a cleansing wipe from me, and return to your seats. You will then wipe your desk down to make sure there is no leftover glue. Students will hand their finished artwork to the teacher and grab a cleansing wipe. They will return to their seats and begin wiping their desks. Please do not run back to your seats. Please walk slowly. Great work, everyone. We're almost done. When you are finished wiping your desk, please throw away your wipe in the garbage bin and return to your seats. Students will finish wiping their desks and then throw away their used wipe in the garbage. There is no need for running or yelling. Please throw away your wipe by simply walking. Return to your seats when you're all done. Awesome job, boys and girls! When we post our fabulous artwork on the bulletin board outside of the classroom, everyone is going to be so impressed. So both groups of students were able to complete their artwork or art lesson successfully. Here is their finished product. Happy Easter, everyone!